Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Hogarth's Global Astrology. Know your planets, know yourself, or know your nation, know yourself. The two are interchangeable. Right. Well, this evening it is a pleasure to have Kevin. Kevin of his channel, of course, is the Healing Medium, and it has been quite a while since we last collaborated. I think. Oh, is it quite a year? Maybe it is. Maybe it might be a year.
I think you might be right. It's been a long time. I know we haven't collaborated this year, so yeah. Holy time flies.
Time really does fly, and apologies for being a little bit late. I was updating. I had to update my website with some information, and you know what it's like, guys. Let me tell you, if you managing your own website and stuff, getting all the links, all of the images, all of this kind of stuff in. So we're going to find out a bit of Kevin's news before we get into your questions. But one thing I just wanted to add at the top of the show, the reason why I was updating my website is because, of course, you guys know that I'm doing retreats. So I'm doing my first retreat in Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Nice.
And many of you have booked in for that. I'm so looking forward to that. But of course, in January next year, January 25th to the 30th, 2025, I'll be hosting my second retreat in Costa Rica.
Wow.
Everyone, Costa Rica is going to be the forests of Costa Rica. There's going to be like a guided tour of the capital city. We're going to be going to eco farms, cacao farms, all of this stuff. There's going to be forest healing and meditation and nighttime walks in the forest, guided tour with all the animals around, overlooked by the gaze of the mystical jaguar. Yeah.
Why not? Oh my gosh, that sounds magical.
I know you can't make this stuff up. So if anyone is interested in that, that will be in the video link with Kevin's details. I don't think I had time to actually put in the usual link. So after we've completed the show, I would have my usual link information with Kevin's details there. But for those of you that are interested in joining me on a fabulous retreat, especially, Costa Rica, it's all there. So that aside, and of course as well, don't forget as well, the Candid Guide to Vedic Astrology. Thank you everyone who's got the book. Thank you to everyone who's got the book and the wonderful reviews. It's been incredible creating an astrological family together. The feedback has been amazing. But anyway, enough about me and my bits and bobs. Kevin, what have you been up to since we last spoke? Wow. And then we'll get into some questions.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me. Always a pleasure. It's always fun to hang out with you and to read with you. And huge congratulations on your book. I know when it was in the making, I know a couple of times, I think even one was on a live where I was like, this is bigger. Like you have a bigger role to play in this than you actually might be aware of. And so I felt the energy of that book being really just a piece of what you have to offer the world. And so I'm really proud of you. I have not, truth be told, read your book yet. Let me
throw it at you from here.
Totally. But nonetheless, I've heard from many people about it. And then of course you've shared the success that you're having with the book. And so really congratulations to you, Hogarth. Well done. Well done. I mean, I know many authors, and I know the process of writing a book is, if nothing less, it's very time consuming. And so the dedication that you had in that is worth huge congratulations. So I hope you continue to celebrate. And yeah, I'm excited to actually get my hands on a copy. And sadly, I was in the UK in March. We weren't able to connect, but I was back at the college. I spent another week at the renowned Arthur Findlay College, and that's the thing about it. I'm always curious to learn more and grow and expand on my abilities. So staying in it with, it's one of my favorite places, the Arthur Findlay College. And so to go there, again, I was there for a week of mediumship classes. it's simply life-changing. I got to go this time with a couple of friends, which was, I think it was the first time. I've been 4 times and I've always gone by myself. I'm thinking, yeah, I didn't go with anybody else any other time. So it was nice little to have friends to go with. But speaking of retreats, it seems to be a very common, people really wanting to, craving and just really excited to get back into the face-to-face, and so the retreats really, I've been seeing more and more of them, and I did several of them last year through other YouTube channels that were hosting them. Linda and Mel and Susan Lynn.
Wonderful.
Some great, Kim and Debbie. I got to do all of these beautiful events. And so I'm doing a few more this year. We've got one in Chicago that's happening.
Chicago.
Meldor is organizing that one. And then I'm also doing one of, I'm co-creating with my friend Jeffrey Peck, who also has a YouTube channel. We're doing an event in a retreat in Sedona, and I was just sharing with Garth a little bit. We met with one of the parts of the retreat is the opening ceremony is a fire ceremony with a beautiful medicine man. And so we just got off the call, and oh my goodness, the energy just from being in that call. If I wasn't excited already, I really am now. So yeah, doing retreats, and I love it. I think, bringing people together who feel called to be a part of it is a really great thing. So looking forward to it. Wonderful. So that's kind of what's been going on. Not as much on YouTube, I would say. I haven't been doing as much. There's only so much time, and I do a lot of teachings and I do a lot of readings. And so when I can, I do try to pop on and still be a part of this amazing community. So.
Indeed. So just to give some feedback here from people joining us. So greetings and salutations, beautiful souls. Wow, I caught you live. I usually have to go searching for your every show. Yes. So what I would say is please don't forget, of course, to like and subscribe and click the bell notification, because that helps the algorithm. And remember as well, YouTube, they can be a little bit naughty, shall we say, in terms of what they prioritize and what they don't. So always make sure you hit that bell notification on anyone that you subscribe to, not just my channel. Could be Kevin's, could be Linda G, could be Susan Lynn, anyone. And that just makes sure that the algorithm and make sure that the video is getting seen, because, we're sharing a lot of truth, on these platforms. You can imagine the spiritual level is rising up. Much change and transformation is afoot, folks, but not everybody necessarily wants it. So I will caveat by saying I'm grateful that YouTube is here, yes, and that we can share this time and stuff with you, like with all the other channels. But just bear that in mind, have a little pinch of salt, just understand that much of this high vibration work or this knowledge or information that we're sharing, not necessarily everyone wants the world to have access to that. Let's just put it that way, and I'll just I will get there. So I'll say some more hellos, and then let's get into some of the questions. So some of you have posted some questions for us. Feel free to ask in the chat. We'll be together, of course, for the usual for the next hour, and of course, a lot, as you know, is happening. I'm going to try and save my voice a little bit. I talk a lot, as you guys know, but I have to in consultations because it's so much teaching, and I'm just trying to rest it a little bit. Anyway, so let's see here. So someone's asking, what's the topic today? Is it politics? Yes, there will be some of that, of course. Absolutely. And then what's this here? Good afternoon, everyone. Please send prayers for Jamaica now. As Hurricane Beryl is now on the island. Oh, my goodness. Wow. Yes. Do you remember, guys, I did say my 2023 predictions and 2024 once Neptune was in sidereal Pisces, which it is now, and it moved in around about the 22nd of February 2023. I said we will be dealing with more storms, hurricanes, moisture in the air events. All right, so we've got some questions that have come in. So obviously I'll be pulling the tarot, and Kevin will be using, of course, his intuitive gifts and stuff. And one of the first that has come in, I always hate this, I always get these pictures popping up from the past whenever I'm online.
Oh.
On Microsoft Drive, it shows you a picture from the past.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so this one here, this is coming from Nick Minks. Actually, I think all the questions are coming from Nick Minks, but they're great. So she asks, how is it looking for France's second vote? So just in case you're, for those that may or may not be aware, as I predicted, as I've been saying, you remember I said 49% of the world is voting this year. Pluto is in sidereal Capricorn, and that normally means things moving to the right. So France definitely has. So they have 2 rounds in their elections. It's not the presidential election, it's for parliament. Macron rather petulantly called a snap election, much like our Prime Minister Rishi Sunak did, and hopefully the Tories get decimated tomorrow. Tomorrow, July 4th, America's Independence Day is our election day. So France is having elections in the mix at the same time. The first round on the 30th of June has already gone to the far right with 33% of the vote. But it takes the second vote to seal it, and that is happening this Sunday. So the question is from Nick Minks, how's it looking for France's second round vote? Will enough be horrified enough at the potential far right win to change to liberal candidates? Yeah, so you let me know what your hits are on that, and I'll fish out my tarot cards. Second vote from far right. Will people be horrified? I think I know what the answer is, but I'm going to see what the cards say.
I mean, instantly how I felt about it is that it's not going to look much different than it did from the first vote. Now I'm going to pull a couple of cards. And it's this Sunday, you said?
Yeah, second vote this Sunday. So the UK, we're having our general election tomorrow, which is just one vote, So I'm going to be up at the crack of dawn, to do my part to drive the stake through the heart of Count Dracula. Yeah. But we just have one in the UK. We just have it one day. That's it. In France, it's over 2 days, normally a week apart. So, and they tend to vote on the Sunday. So they've had it on the 30th of June. And then the next one is the 7th of May, which seals the deal, so to speak. Oh, very interesting. So what did you get then, Kevin?
Well, I'm feeling it, and I don't know how to particularly read the cards that I'm getting. I got the indecision. I think some people are still on the fence. However, I don't feel like it's going to be that different. Maybe a little bit up or down. I don't get a sense of necessarily one or the other, but I think this is pretty telling in the direction that it's going to go is what I get. And maybe I'll get more if I hear what you have to say, but yeah, I think this is going to be the result is kind of what I get.
Okay, I'll just read a quick question here from someone. So they're asking, hi to both of you. I'm an Aquarius. What do I have to look forward to? My birthday and time, she's put there. Thanks so much. So I'm not going to be casting, because that would require personal reading, you know, with the time, etc. and stuff like that. But what I will say is this. If you are, now it depends, when you say Aquarius, are you talking about your tropical sign placements or your Vedic? If you are Aquarius in tropical sun sign, then it's more likely that you're actually a Capricorn, just so you know that. So who asked it was Mona. But if you are Aquarius in Vedic, that means the sun was in sidereal Aquarius when you were born. That means you have Saturn with your sun, and that means changes to your kingdom, yeah, your status, and how your vision of the world. Anyway, I'll just put that briefly in because this isn't really about personal readings. Okay, but thanks for your question anyway, Mona. Right, French elections. Now, look, for me personally, because as you know, I'm an astrologer and of course a tarot reader, and I've been talking about this for some time. Once upon a time, I did a reading on the presidential race in France, which was between President Macron and Marine Le Pen, who is the leader of the far right. And I said, Macron is probably going to win, but it's going to be close. But also I said the next time that they're up against each other, she will win. Now, she's not going to be president, but her protege, Jordan Bardella, is likely to be the winner if the far right gets in. And he's only 28 years old. Imagine that.
Wow.
And I've been saying to everyone on the 1st of June, when Uranus went into sidereal Taurus, I said you can expect physical earthquakes, but also political earthquakes and upsets. And my goodness, aren't we seeing it? Anyway, so if we look here in terms of France, it looks like here we get the fall. So this doesn't mean the literal fall. It looks like to me the French people are willing to take a leap of faith here. A leap of faith. The Fool, of course, is the first card in the major arcana spread, which signifies the beginning of a journey. If we look here, you can see the Fool's head is upward, gazing up and out and thinking of all the potential, but not necessarily noticing or even caring about the potentially perilous drop. Here you have the dog's companion. Now you could say he has his companion. You could say the dog is willing to travel with the Fool along his journey, but some say that the dog is also trying to give a warning. So the way I interpret this is, I think this has already been the case. The coalition of the middle and the far left are trying to basically they're trying to come together to try and block the far right. But I'm not sure if it will be enough, because I think there's so many people that are just wanting a big change, which the Fool can talk about. It's about taking that leap of faith and hoping that the universe will catch you for good or ill. If we look here in what is technically the obstacle position, but you know, it depends on the positivity as well of the first card. The Fool can be quite a positive card. So here we've got the Queen of Cups. I think this is Marine Le Pen. Even though Jordan Bardella will be prime minister, Le Pen is really the one in control. And with the Queen of Cups, this is known as a very creative energy in general. But here, very much, she has her cup of secrets. So what I suspect is that Marine is very good at coming across as a motherly figure. I said as well that for the people in France, they're going to pick the one that they feel has the most love, as it were, for the French. And this is really this is how she comes across. But there could be a few surprises once her protege gets into power. Or once she gets into power. We look at this. The electorate are seeing this as an investment in their future. So if we look here, this is the 7 of Pentacles, which deals with why does it deal with investment? Because you sow the seeds and you reap the harvest. So what I would say is this is very much Macron's government reaping the harvest of discontent. And essentially, this is why I said neoliberalism is dead. Yeah, it's like the chickens have come home to roost. He doesn't like what he's seeing. Yeah, this is why he's rather petulantly thrown this, call the far right's bluff, and they've won the first round. So what this says is as well, this is also talking about Marine Le Pen and the work she's put in to yield her harvest and change the image of the party, which she's successfully done. If we look here, this is the card of the establishment. Yeah, it's got the 3 generations of people on here. So you have the grandfather, his children, and the grandchildren, and the dogs all playing together. So this is about legacies, yeah, creating legacies, longevity, etc., and stuff like that. On one level, this is talking about, you know, Macron's legacy being over, but really this is about the new legacy that Le Pen wants to build. Yeah. And then the outcome card here is the Ace of Cups, which now aces are normally considered yes cards. So I think, you know, it might be a bit of a risk to say, but I think they're going to get in. Wow. How big the majority will be will depend on how effective their opposition is. If they don't have an overall majority, then the French government will be severely weakened, yeah, because there's not going to be any overall control. It's already bad enough that the president and the parliament don't agree. So it depends on the size, but it looks like to me, this is also a card of happiness and stuff like that. So maybe it's happiness for the far right, or it also show as well the sheer level of emotions, because there are a lot of people, obviously quite rightly, that don't want them to get in, and they're going to be very, very upset. So this could lead to a lot of emotional turmoil. If the far right wins, there'll be a lot that will be happy, but also as well, there'll be a tremendous amount of people that will be upset. So I'm going to say they're probably going to make it, but it depends on the size of the majority. But they're looking to create a legacy. Do you get any more hits on that, Kevin?
No, just that. I'm standing with that.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. So let's see. Thank you. Let's see who else. So GM Dave says, at least the citizens of France aren't armed to the teeth like here in America. Well, yeah, I mean they've got plenty of petrol canisters. They're very good with petrol and firebombs, aren't they? Whenever you see protests in France, everything is burning down. But at least they, you know what I do admire about the French? What I really do admire about the French is that they are not afraid to make their feelings known to the government, whether you agree with them or not. It's very passionate. It's very out there. You're never in any doubt. When you're a leader in France, you are never in any doubt about how your people feel, because if they don't like you, you know, Paris gets burned down and all of that kind of stuff. I mean, I don't know why they just don't spray everything with kind of fire retardant. Do you know what I mean? But there you are. But they're very forthright, the French. And I think, you know, we in Britain probably, we would have slightly different government if we didn't put up with so much BS. But we'll see what happens tomorrow. Looks like the Tories are. Anyway, shall we move on to the next question?
Let's do it.
All right. So there's a question on America. Oh, very good questions in here. All right. So this one here says Viktor Orban arrived in Ukraine on Tuesday for an announced visit, having just taken over as rotating president of the European Union. How ironic. He will hold this post for 6 months. Will he use it to undermine Ukraine and aid Putinshka? Yeah, Putin, but we'll call him Putinshka. So there you are. So will Viktor Orban use being the European, the rotating kind of presidency of the European Union, which will hold for 6 months, will he use it to undermine Ukraine and aid Putinshka? Oh, great question.
And where is he from?
Viktor Orban is from Hungary.
Oh, okay.
and he's an authoritarian in Europe. Trump, of course, is a big fan, and he actually visited Trump a few months ago as well. Kind of sort of helped him a little bit, kind of raise certain funds when it came to a big fine that Duck L'Orange was facing at the time for entertainment purposes only, but we all know it's true. So I'd love to know your thoughts.
It's interesting because it's like the energy is already, the energy feels very thick. I'm going to say heavy in it. And I instantly saw this image and I feel like it's him walking, and you see the footprints behind him. And so Spirit's making me aware of the kind of the imprint that he's going to leave on this. And as I feel into what was specifically being asked, is he going to undermine and help aid? I got the friendship card, and this feels more aligned with the energy of Russia. And so, oh, that's interesting. And relationship card. So friendship, relationship, that's where my energy kind of leans to, is more of what it looks like on the surface and what's actually underneath. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good.
Very interesting. Any more cards to add to that, or that's what you're getting for now?
Yeah, go ahead for now.
All right, no problem. All right, so I'll just read out a few little bits and bobs here. So someone's responding to someone else in the comments. So Roxanne said, at Magical Mermaid, so the ones who visualize harder wins. The opposition to is doing the same. Yeah, so we'll have to see. So everyone, like I've been saying to everyone, get your magical books. You know, not just my book. I mean, obviously, get my book as well, but I mean other ones too, because honestly, this really matters. You see, with all of this Pluto energy moving to the right, just because it's moving to the right doesn't mean that you can't use the positive energies that are aspects of Pluto as well. But we have to all take individual responsibility, inventory. We need to do our shadow work. We need to also do our transmutation as well, because the far right are working very, very hard to bring their version of the world about, and we need to work even harder. Yeah. So if you look here, Magical Mermaid says, but I believe the ETs can push us over. Hopefully, we'll have to see. Clarence is saying, yeah, I'm a little scared now. Yes, that's prudent. You can understandably so, and don't let anyone gaslight you into thinking that this isn't serious stuff, because it is. We are in historical times, guys. Historical. And then GM Dave says, yeah, the British tend towards politeness. It's true, but we can be very ruthless once we're pissed off with people.
Yeah.
Anyway, what do I get for Orban? Now, this is really interesting. The first card that I get, which symbolizes very much what the reading about, is the Hanged Man. So what this tells me is part of Orban's mission, as it were, while he is president of the moving presidency of the EU. So he's not the president of the whole EU, but in the EU, the 27 nations, or maybe more now, I forget, they each take it in turn to be in charge. It's Hungary's turn to be in charge of the main decision making of the EU. So here he's got the Hanged Man. So what this suggests to me is that part of his mission is to stall, hold up Ukraine potentially, because the Hanged Man is one of the slowest cards. It doesn't go anywhere. Yeah, you can see he's upside down. But also as well, you notice the halo around his head, and this is also talking about a different perspective and stuff like that. So my instinct on this is that Orban is going to use the 6 months to stall, halt, potential progress. He's already said he doesn't want to give extra funding to Ukraine and change the perspective on things. So I think it is probably going to lean a bit more pro-Russian. We know he's pro-Russian anyway, so that's not controversial to say. Here, though, if we look in the obstacle position, we've got the card of embattling. Yeah, embattling. I think this is literally talking about Ukraine. Yeah, because Ukraine is currently at war right now. I think this is also to do with the electorate in general. People are just feeling battered from all sides. But this card is a card that is about perseverance, not giving up. But it's turned up in the obstacle position. So I think this might be a Zelensky, yeah, who's continually obviously fighting for his country, and he obviously wants the war to go his way. So I see it that way. So this is part of a much wider battle. I think this is the war in Ukraine. If we look here in the middle, we have the, the King of Cups, which is normally deals with artistic, creative, or compassionate man. Now, when we're talking about politics, this normally shows up as the Biden card. But I think this is also talking about the potential positive divine masculine. So this could also be other leaders in the EU that may still try and help out Ukraine, regardless of Orban's plans. Yeah, this ultimately is a benevolent card. As we know, Biden's has got his hands pretty full right now, trying to hold on to his own, campaign after the debates, which we all know about. If we look here, though, we have the world card. So quite literally, the whole world is watching the situation in the Ukraine. But the world card does talk about beginnings and endings and beginnings. So this is a new cycle. I think this is talking about the new cycle in general, also well for Europe, yeah, because this is a question about wider Europe as well. If France goes to the right, which I think it probably will, we'll have to see what the majority is. I hope I'm wrong, but that's my feeling. This will also change the global outlook for Europe as well. Because if France goes that way, that is a big deal. Yes, Italy went there with Meloni, and she's actually been relatively restrained. This is what I'm hearing from the Italians. But France is a whole different ball game. Yeah, whole different ball game. They've got a much bigger economy, much more influence on the world stage. So Orban is also looking to shape the global perception of Europe as well, while he's in power. And if we look here, look, we get the Ace of Cups back again. So again, it's talking about, the emotions. This can, for many people, this will seem positive. But I think, again, this will talk about the emotions in general in Europe and around the world, particularly if France goes to the right, because it means that we become more authoritarian. And what's his name? Orban is an authoritarian. He's already there. Do you see? So interesting. At least try and stall things. Anything you want to add to that?
Well, I mean, this just plays off of what you just said. I also pulled the Perseverance card, and that was in, and it's interesting. They're making a little more sense after I heard you, but I got the Fire card, the Light card, and the Power with the electricity or with the lightning in it. And so the energy that Spirit's focusing on is it's kind of lighting up the world in a way. So this actually is important that it's happening this way, they're saying. And what actually will come to the surface is a lot of, there's impact, but there's also the power for change. And so I feel like this theme that's kind of running through it, you had said about the fire in France where they'll throw the little...
Oh yeah, they burn everything.
Yeah, and what I'm getting, and I'm sensing it in lots of the people in the chat, is that this is happening for us so that we can step out of that fear consciousness, and that's the big thing we have to continue. Yes, we can get angry, and yes, we can observe things, but we can't be in that energy of the fear consciousness. And so this is to actually propel us into the movement and into the changes that are downright uncomfortable and many things, but this is to create the change. So that fire energy, that power is actually a good thing. So yeah. That's what
And Pluto is associated with that element as well, because the imagery, the symbolism of Pluto is the phoenix rising from the ashes.
Oh, right. Wow.
Yeah. So there's, yeah, definitely a lot of fire around. Someone's just dropped in a good question as well, or what will be a good reaction for me to read out when we actually start looking at America, which I'll save for the end. So we've got that. We've got France, and then we've got Viktor Orban, Hungary. Now this is an interesting one. Thank you so much, Nick Minks, for your questions. You know, she's provided a lot of the show here. But they're just great questions, and we'll read more in the chat as well when they come up. Okay. So she says, a network, and then we'll do American one after this. A network of Russia-based websites masquerading as local American newspapers is pumping out fake stories as part of an AI-powered operation that is targeting the US election, a BBC investigation can reveal. Will this still play a part in the upcoming elections in the USA? So actually, that was a USA question. So let's see. Will Russian propaganda and AI-generated content play a significant role in the US elections? And they'll be everywhere, by the way, because that's Putinska for you. Oh, look at this! Look what fell out! Oh my God! Ooh, it fell out. Yeah, fell out. I have to take it. Oh, another one. Look, another just flipped itself. It's a really wow.
Will it play a part?
Oh my gosh, I've got another one.
Interesting.
Oh my God, guys. Oh, these cards. Brace yourselves. Let me pull two more. 3 leapt out. 3. Just pull the camera there so you can see these things. Oh my God. All right.
Hogarth, do you mind going first on this one?
Sure, no problem. Let me just pull 2 more. All right. Oh, bloody hell. Oh my gosh. All right, brace yourselves, folks. Brace yourselves. You will not believe my card. 3 of them leapt out. All right, so just to reiterate with the story, a network, so with the question, a network of Russia-based websites masquerading as local American newspapers is pumping out fake stories as part of an AI-powered operation that is targeting the US election, a BBC investigation can reveal. Will this play a part in the election? So here we've got, this is showing basically Russia's intentions here. Now remember, I pulled 5 cards, 3 leapt out of the deck, quite literally. There, 10 of Swords. Yeah, they want to end democracy in the USA. It's as simple as that. How else can that card be interpreted from that question? That's their plan. Yeah, for entertainment purposes only. But that's what it is. The goal: end democracy. They want it to be dead. Yeah. If we look here in the obstacle position, they want people to turn away. Literally, they want people to turn away from democracy. They want people to be apathetic. They don't want people to vote. Yeah, that's, you know, because like, think about it. If you're Putinska, or if you're any authoritarian, once you're in power, you don't want people to vote. So they want people to abandon. They want to kill democracy, and they want people to abandon it, walk away from it. Yeah, just go, I'm done. You know, I've had enough. Yeah. However, if that happens, look at this, the Tower.
Wow.
Look, you see, these cards flew out of the deck. flew out. So Spirit was just like, this is a major warning, just in case people weren't sure, yeah, of the intentions of the authoritarians. Yeah, this is also Project 25 and all of that douchebaggery as well, which is even worse. I find, honestly, for me, I've said it for ages. Dr. Orange is a weapon of mass distraction. He's turned politics into reality TV and entertainment.
Yeah.
A lot of people just think it's a joke, it's a game. And I'm glad now, at long last, certain sections of the mainstream media are now actually starting to talk about Project 25. It's like, where were you years ago? You know, I've known about Project 25 for at least 2 years, and all of their craziness that they what whenever it was they, you know, they published their manifesto at least a year or 18 months. Anyway, look, their intention is to what? Destroy the whole thing, blow it all up. They want anarchy. Just in case we weren't sure, look, we've got the Five of Swords here, which deals with what? An abuse of power. This is the authoritarian energy that they want to come in. This is what Project 2025 is talking about. They want to deport, I don't know how many, what is it, 8 million? But before they do that, they want to put them all in camps. You know, Trump has said he wants to get rid of his political opponents and all this stuff. And the Supreme Court has basically said, you are a king.
Yeah.
You can use whatever force you want. I mean, isn't this astonishing? Like I said, political earthquakes, expect the unexpected. And just in case we weren't sure of the Russian involvement as well, this is a classic that we get, the Seven of Swords here, which is trying to get away with something. They're going to try and steal the election. I've always said Trump doesn't have to win. He just has to get close. Just has to be close enough, yeah, close enough, and then they will basically do the rest. I know that's a bit scary for people, but I have to say what I see. You saw me shuffling. 3 of those cards leapt out, so this is loud and clear from Spirit. So the danger is real. The danger is real. Anyway, what do you have to add to that?
I'll just echo it. So my first card that popped out was the Death card. So I think that it's very telling. But this is, I want to be clear on this, because this is the energy of the intention. This isn't the energy of the result, and that's very, very different. So the energy of the intention is exactly that: the Death from 2 different decks, the worry, the regret, the honesty in the reverse, the confusion. And what's interesting here is that that's again the choice. And so we have the power to step out of that, which is a very different result. So interesting where the fire came in the last one. The next card of this is the water card. And that's really the purification. And that's up to the American people to really make that, to wash away. So is it going to be a part of it? Is it a part of the intention? Yes. But is it the result? No, it doesn't have to be the result. Right. So that's where we, again, are called to step out of that energy of the fear, because in that, what it does to the psyche is exactly what the intention is. So there's choice in it. And that's the beautiful thing that Spirit's making me aware, is that there is choice in this. Yeah, it seems pretty clear.
And it's very interesting as well, because of course water is the antidote to fire,
right? And it's all about water is creation.
Well, you know exactly. Yes. Creativity, spirituality, but of course you need the water to put the fire out.
Yes,
because these people, they're anarchists. Yeah, they want to. It's not just that they want things to be back in like how it was in the 1950s. They want it to be back like how it was in the 1750s. These people are just absolutely cray-cray. And their manifesto and everything like that, I mean, it literally is going to be Gilead on steroids. But at the same time, just like Kevin said, it is a choice. And there are people, and this might be hard for many Americans to accept, There are many Americans that want this.
Mm-hmm.
We can't say that. No one can say, oh, I didn't know Trump stood for this. Hello, yeah. It's clear now. And I think what's happened with the recent decision with SCOTUS is become crystal clear. And I saw, what is it, Joy Reid on MSNBC, and of course you have your CNNs and stuff like that. But Joy Reid has been absolutely bang on the money with this when she described it. And she said, this is Game of Thrones type thing. She was talking about the hand of the king, the concept of the hand of the king, where the six, basically six of the justices have now become the hand of the king, and how they're working in tandem, with each other. So this is big energies, guys, but we can also be that water to put the fire out. But at the same time, it doesn't mean just being passive either. People are going to have to be active, guys. You might even have to stand up. You might even have to protest. I'm not going to say peacefully, of course, remember, we can't incite things, on YouTube and stuff like that, but, for entertainment purposes only. But what I can say clearly is this is not the time to be passive and think that someone else is going to fight that fight for you. They're not. Each of you has to take responsibility and do the best you can. Like, I'm going to go out tomorrow morning, and I'm going to cast my vote to hammer the stake through, do my bit to be the bong on the top, to hammer the stake through the heart of Count Dracula, because the Tories are dreadful, utterly dreadful. And the whole country is going to be doing that. Let's see how many votes they get. I hope they get less than 100. Certainly, I really wish they get less than 50, but we'll have to see. But the whole point is actively going out. Now, of course, everyone watching, I know you're going to vote, but it's not just about casting your ballot. In this time, you've got a right to people. Let your thoughts be known. Actively campaign. This is going to, it's going to take active stuff, because the opposition, the forces of darkness, are incredibly determined, and they're working hard to try and bring this about. Anyway, let me just we'll read the next question soon. So let's just see here a few more comments. We'll say this is so we'll say that the Minxie Nick will say that the opposition team will be worshipping the golden calf, while the orange felon, his mask and those who support him, has slipped. Too many Americans won't want a dictator. Certainly, I hope so. Now, this is a good one here from Smoo. Why doesn't Bayer fire the MAGA Supreme Court justices and call it an official act? I agree. Right. Use the powers from now.
Yeah.
No one said it was for the next election. No one said it was specifically for Donald Trump. They said the office of the presidency. Honestly, this is my thing. The Dems are going to have to get very imaginative here. Very imaginative. And I would be having certain conversations with Biden about maybe using some of these new powers. Yeah. Whether he stays or not, use some of these powers, because this is outrageous. If they win, it's Armageddon. Anyway, so next question. Do the cards show that the majority of Americans are starting to see the danger democracy is now under? And more importantly, is there a top secret program already happening that is tracking the actions of electors who are already in action trying to steal this next election? So basically, really, that's two questions. So let's do the bit of, is there a top secret program which is taking a look at these conspirators? We'll ask that. And then we'll ask, are the majority of Americans starting to see the danger to democracy? So let's ask that part first. Is there a top secret program keeping an eye on these potential fraudsters?
Which can I check this guy?
And please don't forget as well, everyone, to like and subscribe. There's almost 400 of you joining us live now. Thank you so much.
It's so funny because I'm reading it literally and I'm like, is it top secret? I don't know if it's the energy of top secret, but I got the yes card. I got the yes card. So let me just see.
Interesting. While you're selecting, Cheryl Simpson says, vote is the best answer. Absolutely, I agree. And someone, Roxanne says, use fear positively. Do not shy away from fear. That's true as well. Move through it. Let's see here. Someone's asking a personal question. We're not doing personal questions on this show, unfortunately, but I don't know, have a tap on my website if you'd like a consultation or something, then we can look. So yes, sorry about your financial issues there. You can say I dissent and vote, stay strong. Absolutely. And then here, Marianne is saying, don't be overwhelmed by despair. It's the one thing to realize it's a serious situation, but it's another thing to become immobilized, which is what I see happening to people. Keep eyes on the prize. Yes, that's what they want. So, you know, when we were reading on Russia and we had the, what is it, the 8 of Cups or whatever, the person walking away, they want people to give up. Don't give up. Understand, okay, this is the threat, but don't give up. You push forward, push through that fear, transmute it, alchemize, get out and vote, protest, you know, whatever you need to do to contribute to that positive outcome. What do you have, Kevin?
Well, I don't think this is new energy that I'm feeling into. I did get it. I did feel like it is a yes. I don't know if it's top secret. I don't know why I'm saying that twice, but I got the yes card. And then I got in this deck, the trust card, the strength card, and the boundaries. And those are all yeses for me. So I feel like there is energy around, if I'm understanding the question properly, that there is energy that is taking a look at some of these conspiracies and conspirators. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so with my cards, of course, are looking at the same question. So if we look here, we've got the Page of Wands. Now, pages are all about messages. Yeah, pages are all about messages. And it is part of the kind of royal suite, as it were, but it is a minor card. So this suggests, yes, they are looking, but I don't think it's a massive team that are on this. Yeah. And also as well, it depends how seriously they're actually taking it. Yeah, because it's not like if it was the King of Wands, yeah, or the Queen of Wands, you know, that would be like a big, you know, big kind of thing. I think they're looking, but it's not like a big team, which is a little bit surprising actually, because I would think that would be one of the main things they should be looking at. But anyway, if we look here, we've got the 8 of Wands, but it's turned up in the obstacle position. When the card is in its normal interpretation, this talks about things moving forward at a pace, yeah, speed, forward motion, things with business, things coming through the sky, emails, etc. But we can consider it reversed, which means like things that work's getting gummed up. So it suggests to me there might be an investigation, but it needs to be broader and faster. There needs to be a sense of urgency. This is what I feel. There's urgency now, but it's coming very late. All of the urgency seems to have happened because, you know, Biden had a bad day on the debates, whatever. Let's see what he's able to do. Let's see if he's able to claw it back. But have you noticed that all the urgency and the panic seems to have come since the debate? where I've been pulling out my hair for ages going, Project 25. Why is that? I even said on my channel, I said, why is this not more on the news? Because that has been the scary stuff. They are the Gilead crew, those people, but at least they're starting to wake up now. If we look here, they may be investigating, but look, there's still disagreements here. It's not all fully joined up. Yeah. So they're looking, but they might not be looking at the whole picture, every aspect. They might be looking at a little bit over here, a little bit over there, because this is a card of discord and essentially disagreement on the best motion forward. Yeah. So they're not unified in how they're going to be looking at this. I think they're obviously more worried about what's going on with the Democrats rather than what Project 25 is up to. If we look here, we have the Knight of Pentacles. So this is the loyal knight, and also as well talks about slow and steady wins the race. So they have to persevere on this, take it seriously and be methodical. Yeah, not chaotic. But then look, the outcome card here is the Knight of Wands. So I think it's going to speed up. Let's just put it this way. Recent events, I think, has lit a few fires underneath a few backsides. Yeah. I think this SCOTUS decision has woken a lot of people up where they realize this is serious. Yeah. Took them a while, but at least they're there. And you can see the majority of that was actually Wands, which is about fire and passion. So what I would say is, as well, is this is the Democrats really need to get fired up, particularly about their strategy. Yeah. And halt the disagreements, arrive at a consensus and do it. Yeah. And then be a bit more like this to take the fight to Duc L'Orange and those people. So there was that part there. So let's now do the second part of the question. So do the cards show that the majority of Americans are starting to see the danger democracy is now under? Let's look at that.
Do we even have to pull up card on that?
Well, but you never know, because it could be like, for example, like with my cards, if I get the Four of Swords, for example, it will show a lot of Americans are still asleep.
Wow.
Quite literally. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I never assume anything. I always just, let's see what the, you see what the cards say, but we'll have to see, won't we? Are the Americans aware of the danger to democracy? Are the majority of Americans aware to the danger of democracy? One thing we have to understand is, as well, is even though we have a lot of consensus on our YouTube channels, we represent a small fraction of the wider audience. Things that may be obvious to us may not necessarily be obvious to others, or they just have a different belief. Yeah, it's a free will at the end of the day.
So true.
Oh, you will not believe the card that's just come up.
Oh.
Believe the card that's just come
it's not the Four of, what did you say?
Oh.
Don't leave us hanging.
I'm going to let you do your reading and then I'll reveal my cards.
Tell me the question one more time. Say it one more time. Do most of the, does the majority of them American?
So do the cards show that the majority of Americans are starting to see the danger democracy is now under? So do the majority of Americans now see the danger to democracy? You will not believe my cards.
I mean, how I would read these, I got the vision card and I got the trust card. But interestingly, and I'm not quite sure what to make of this, but I got the doubt card and the failure card. It actually feels quite even. So I don't know if it is the majority is actually what I'm feeling. So maybe maybe the cards were necessary.
Maybe, do you need to pull some clarifier, perhaps?
Yeah, it's like a coin toss. Exactly. Which deck do you want me to use? This one? This one? Oh boy. The smoke and mirrors. And a higher view. So I feel like it's majority, but not by there's not a big margin. Like it feels like it's maybe like 51-49. But I do feel there is an edge to the energy of yes, but it's not as, and I'll just own this, it's not as big as what I would have hoped for. So it's interesting. So yes, but majority by not a huge margin.
Wow. All right. I'm just going to read out a few more comments and then I'm going to share my cards. Brace yourselves, guys.
Oh boy.
Anyways, so let's just see here. What did I pick up on? Nick has said this. Yep, the photo of Zelensky and Orban isn't one going in the family album. I hope they frisked Orban, as he wouldn't put it past him in him passing on info. But anyway, so it doesn't look like it was a great picture. Anyway, here, this is for Chartless. I think that's how I say that. The Supreme Court and the US SCOTUS just allowed a president to commit crimes in office with impunity. The Don the Con is a known criminal. Yeah. And like I've been saying, it wasn't popular at the time. In fact, many things I say aren't popular at the time, because obviously I'm looking into the future. And I said they're corrupt. I said the Supreme Court want to help Duc L'Orange. They're all part of it. Not all of them. Obviously, you've got the three liberals that, have their dissent and stuff. But, they could have did anyway. Never mind. I'm not going to go into judgment, but we can see what is in front of our eyes. Let's see here. So here, are the American people truly willing to elect a criminal to be president? Well, check out my cards. I'll read that for you in a second. And then GM says most of France's economy isn't owned by the mafia like Italy. Yes, the mafia are still hugely influential. And then Helen Murray saying, hello, Hergy and Kevin, will there be a Starmageddon? So Sir Keir Starmer is the one coming up to be potentially prime minister from tomorrow. In the UK election tomorrow, 4th of July. Let's have a look. I mean, he's going to have a big majority either way. It would be, like I said, not even Jesus can save the Tories right now. Not even the devil, I don't think. I mean, literally,
combined.
It's more about the size of the majority. If the Tories were to win, it would be an absolute astonishing earthquake for them to win. I just can't see that happening, but you never know. And then last one here. I did hear tonight, apparently a Saudi diplomatic plane was also located next to the Russian plane and the Trump one at Dulles airport. Seriously, not a coincidence. Of course not. Swapping documents or whatever. I was watching Cash Peters, and he was in his pictures. He saw it being done electronically. But think about it. Russians and Saudis together with Trump plane. What more evidence do people need? But anyway, going back to my answer. Do the cards show that the majority of Americans are starting to see the danger of democracy is now under? And do you remember I said, if I get the 4 of Swords, it could mean that a lot of people are asleep. Look at the first card. Right.
Wow.
Unfortunately, I have to say what I see. What this tells me is there are a lot of Americans that are still, even now, asleep. They're not taking it in. They're not paying attention. Yeah, for whatever reason. But look, there it is. You see, I shuffle the cards and I pick with my eyes closed and 4 of Swords has turned up. So this is worrying, folks. Yeah, not everyone is awake to the danger. We look here in the obstacle position, we have the sun.
Oh, interesting.
Now, this is normally, you know, a very positive card dealing with illumination, vision, clarity, all of this stuff, but it's turned up in the obstacle position, which you can consider it reversed. Now, they say because the sun card is such a positive card, even when it's in obstacle or reversed, it can mean it, maybe it's just a little bit more mediocre. Yeah, so let's just say some people are seeing the light, but it's a cloudy day. It's intermittent. There are still a lot of people who are asleep, who are maybe not fully aware of what is at stake. I have to say what I see. However, some are aware that democracy is what? Under threat. This is democracy itself on the hill, trying to fend off all of these challenges. Do you see? Democracy is literally under attack. Yeah, people need to wake up about the danger. But look here, the devil. Yeah, let me just cover this a little bit here for the algorithm. It doesn't like nudity. So this, of course, are the dark forces at work. But this is not only that as well. This also deals with attachments, addictions, complacency, depression, not feeling like, maybe there's a lot of Americans that feel like that they can't make a change because maybe their own personal circumstances are too overwhelming. Maybe they're too distracted by their own personal crises in order to have the psychic energy to fully engage with what's going on. Yeah, there it is. But then when we see here as well, when we look at the outcome card, we get the Hermit card. So this is talking about deep reflection. America really does have to reflect and quickly about what is at stake. I'm not going to say that everything that's happened under, you know, the Democrats has been perfect or whatever. No government is perfect, and there are many things that are questionable. However, what's the alternative? The alternative is Gilead. Yeah, we've seen what the Russian intention are, what they're trying to stir up. So I think this is, I know we're preaching to the choir here, but this is going to take active participation in order to change this result. It's going to take courage and boldness and fire to turn things around, whoever's at the helm, because, you know, the sticks are out for Biden as well at the moment. Yeah, this could easily just as well be Biden trying to defend his position too. Yeah, so it's very interesting. So whatever happens, it has to be active and it needs to be bold because, you know, the devil is at work. Oh, I wish I could have ended on something a bit more whatever. But anyway, what's your thoughts on that, Kevin, before we go?
Well, I mean, I can just feel the energy of it. And again, that choice and that power of, you know, it's a fight. It is. And that's, you know, what has to happen will happen. But the individual participation in that, everybody can do something. And so there is a call for people to come together and be that power for the stand and for, you know, democracy. So yeah, and the energy of that fire are for those ones that are maybe, you know, call them asleep or just in a different energy, or some just don't maybe care. And hopefully this this power and this fire lights up the change and taking the stand, you know. Yeah, it's interesting, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think that devil card as well can also show apathy as well. Apathy, resignation, giving up, you know, just being like, well, it's all going to hell anyway. Why, you know, why bother? You know, there could be that energy as well. However, there were two cards that fell out of the deck, and I just picked them up and I saw there were two major arcana. So if we look here, we've got the World card, which is endings and beginnings. You know, new cycles are afoot. And then look here, we've got the Justice card here, which can talk about legalities. So I think we'll have to see how it goes, but it also shows as well a legal element will be involved in this election as well. But at the end of the day, active participation, guys. Get yourselves organized. A lot of you are here in the chat. Those of you subsequently watching the video, maybe get something together, because look, you know, I'm all the way over here in England. You know, I'm thousands of miles away. Kevin's in Canada, so, you know, closer, but still a long way away. You know, I've got my own elections tomorrow. We've got our own elections. I'm going to be doing my part in my election, going out and voting, like I said, to hammer the stake through Count Dracula's heart. But you guys in the States, here in these forums, you know, where you're watching all of us, get each other's names, numbers, emails, start, you know, getting together in, you know, like they said, when people come together in an action of thought and prayer, it's far more powerful. Be that grassroots movement to counter some of that energy, this dark energy, that apathy, the resignation, the addiction, the depression, the dark moods, to get people kind of ginnied up for what will effectively be one of the most consequential and important elections in all of human history. And that is not even a joke. It is real, because if America falls to the far right, there's no restrictions on Putinska, Orban, maybe the far right in France, whoever. Do you know what I mean? It's just going to be England. You know, Britain. In the middle, you could have Sakir Stark, and then you've got this craziness going on in America. I hope not. And then this craziness going on in Europe. Oh my God. Anyway, but let's hope it doesn't come to that. Alchemy, everyone. Be positive, but be active. Don't get paralyzed by the fear, as they were saying in the comments. Last thoughts, Kevin, before we go, because
you just said you said the word that they kept repeating was that sense of hope, and in that apathy and just that you know, giving up, people have lost that sense of hope, and you know, Spirit wants us to hold on to that. And when we come together, it's easier to be in that energy of hope and change. So hang in there, do what you can. And continue to step out of that fear consciousness.
Indeed.
And that's, you know, we can each do that through choice. So
indeed. Well, I'll just click up the last comment here. Raymond says, Marga thinks Project 25 will only apply to illegal immigrants and liberals. Yeah, they're mistaken. Some of them are asleep. That Four of Swords. Anyway, let's see how it goes. Kevin, the time has gone so quickly. Thank you so much for joining me. Just in case, if you don't know already, if you've not subscribed to Kevin already, he will be in the video description below. So just give me a minute or two just to update that after the show has finished. And if you'd like to join me in Costa Rica, Costa Rica, those details are there. They're also on my website as well. So I've updated the website page, so you've got the full thing. And if you want to know more about Kevin's work and stuff and his retreats coming up, of course, he will be linked, and that will take you to his website as well. Thank you so much. I mean, it's been a long time since we were together, but it was fascinating. I hope you found that interesting, and thanks so much for joining me, and thank you everyone for joining us. Over 400 of you join us live, so thank you very much. Big love, and I'll see you on thank you. I'll see you on Thursday Fry Up as well, which is tomorrow. So
tomorrow.
Anyway, we'll leave it there. All right. Bye for now, everyone. Bye-bye.